Hello, everybody. It's Gary Stuckey with Real Music. Well, the Australian sensation and my friend, Danny Stefanetti. She's back once again talking about her new music. She's got a brand new video and single called Rock and Roll in My Soul. And guess what? I'm in the video, in the intro. I appreciate that. So nice of you to have that happen for me. Yeah. Great song, great guitar as always, great voice, Danny. Got some horns in there. Sounds really cool, upbeat. If you haven't checked it out already, you need to, and let me know what you think. But we're going to talk about it right now. So here we go. Here she is. Here's Danny Stefanetti.
Hi Gary, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good.
Yeah,
You're excited about new music, huh?
I am. I'm excited about the new song, that's for sure. Thanks for having me on. Did you like the intro?
I sure did. I know that guy.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, it sounds familiar.
I appreciate that. That's nice to be in a
Oh,
video.
love that.
Uh, so nice. I know you were still reeling from doing the work with William Lee Golden,
Right.
right? With the I Got My Heart on You. That turned out pretty good, right? Everybody enjoyed that single, right?
Yeah, that was a beautiful song that William Lee Golden wrote for his son. And I just got back from Nashville doing a full week of press on television on the WSM, the Cody Coffee and Country show there in at the Opryland, I believe it is, and
Right.
a couple of local on too, and talk of the town. It was like a jam-packed week of press, so that was pretty full on, that's for sure.
Awesome. So you go from there into this new single, uh, and it's called what? Rock and Roll in My Soul.
That's
Um,
right. Yeah.
um, very nice song. A lot of cool
Thank you.
guitar. Love the
Yeah,
guitar.
it's an upbeat one.
Um, what about the horns? I like the horns on there.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a Motown influence, which
Yeah,
is not like any of my other work. I've used strings and that kind of thing before, but it's got hints of that Chicago clashed
yeah.
with rock and roll in there. So it was a really fun song to make, and produced it at home actually. And the horns took like 3 days because I've never got into that before. So that was a pretty wild adventure, but
Yeah.
for someone that plays by ear, so
Well,
that
it
was a
sounds
bit
good.
wild.
It sounds really big production on there.
That's great.
Wow.
Thank you.
Um, so how long overall did it take to record the song and the video?
Well, the song we did back in March, the summer of oh, might have been June actually, in Ukaipa in 2023. That album was produced, and then that song actually took the longest out of all of Danny's Diamonds because of the brass section. But the video was actually done this year, March of this year, at the Ukaipa Performing Arts Centre, and I had the opportunity of being invited to open for Mark Farner from
Oh,
Grand Funk Railroad, and Evan B. Stone came up to film it and captured my live show, that hour performance, and that was one of the songs that I performed at the end. And it synced up with the audio, and it was just like so perfect. So we had to release it.
sure. It sounds so good. What's the reaction been so far since it's been released, the song and the video?
Oh, it's been really good. Yeah, because it's an upbeat song, so people like kind of I hope I don't know, I'm still hearing people's comments, but judging from like all the comments from the video and everything, people are loving it. And
Awesome.
it's fun to do a rock and roll song every now and then as well. I like the upbeat.
Is that something that I mean, how would you rank this song compared to others?
How would I rank it?
Yeah, how would you rank it as far as your best stuff you've done so far?
Oh, I can't really rank my songs because they're all so different, but I just felt like it was the right time to release, especially after Timing was on and I've Got My Heart on You because they're two ballads. I just felt it was time to release something that's like summer, fresh, that's driving on the back of a motorbike and people can get up and dance. So I can't really rate it, but I guess it's up to people to do that. What do you
Right.
think, Gary?
I really do like it. I really do. I
Thank
mean,
you.
um, are there, have you been talking to radio stations and
Yes.
like that?
Radio stations pick it up. Uh-huh.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Getting on any charts or playlists?
Playlist, yes. I don't know charts yet because it only came out yesterday, but I just had an interview on a UK station and got a couple more UK interviews coming up. And the day before last, I had different podcasts and radio stations throughout the US interviewing me on the single. So that was pretty exciting.
Right. That's
Yep.
awesome. And I guess you'll be doing more TV shows, stuff like that.
I hope so. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll let the music kind of guide the way as
Awesome.
usual.
Um, well, how many songs have you got from this collection so far?
For Danny's Diamond, there's about 10 or so on the record, 10 or 11. Yeah, I'm not sure how many we're going to release to iTunes. It may be 10 or so, but I think this would be the third song we've released off that record, and there's a whole bunch of different styled ones. Every song is different, so I can't wait to, get the rest of them out there.
Cool. Did Mark Farner get a chance to hear you play?
I don't think so because I got to meet him backstage and I didn't actually get to catch his set because I had to hit the road after my show. I think we just missed each other, but I got to watch the playback and all that, and it was a quick transition between acts. So it was me and then the Eagles, the Long Run, and then Mark Farner and his band. And so yeah, I couldn't stay really late because I had to get back to the desert.
What was crowd reaction like?
Yeah, the crowd was great. I got to see my older friends out there in Yucaipa and a few of the younger girls that are into singing and guitar. They came down with their parents and watched, and it was nice to see some familiar faces out there and some new faces that had never heard my music before. And I had my koala table at the end, and people came out, and it was nice to see everybody. That's for sure.
Did you ever get anybody from Australia show up and talk to you?
Occasionally, I'll have that. Someone will come up and say, "Hey, we're from Australia as well," and I can hear it instantly. So it's always nice to get that. Or they'll be like, "I'm from Melbourne. I'm from Sydney," and they'll tell me what state they're from, and we'll bond on that. And they'll say, "We haven't heard you in Australia." That will be one of the first things they'll say. "I can't believe we haven't heard of you in Australia."
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, what about shows? What you got some shows lined up or special events coming up?
I got about 30 or so shows coming up out here in the desert. It's keeping me very busy, so I'm lucky for that. And it's going to be I think a busier 2025 even than this year. So I'm excited to play out. I got a couple of public venues and a couple of private venues, and yeah, the people out here really loving my music, so it's really nice to see. I like
Awesome.
playing with the people out here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's the story behind the song exactly?
Well, it was one of the last ones I wrote on that binge I had of two days each. I wrote 2 afternoons. I wrote 6 songs each afternoon when I came back from Nashville in March 2023. Yeah, and Rock and Rolling My Soul was like one of the last ones I wrote. I didn't think too much of it. I kind of was like, it had that Rolling Stones dun 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 kind of vibe to it, which I wanted. But
Right.
it didn't really have all the riffs in it until I went to record it. So it wasn't like fully done or anything like that. I knew that song in particular needed production for it to even come alive. And that's what we did. It needed a lot of drums and bass and horns and to make it what it is today, because otherwise it would have just been like it didn't even have like that bridge section where we moved it
Yeah.
from F, and it really changed up at the end of the song. If I
Right.
had just kept it in E, it wouldn't have been the same. So we kind of had to do a lot to that song to make it what it is.
Well, how do you know what you're looking for as far as sounds when you're listening to the song? How do you think I like this? I need to put this in there.
Well, I think that just happens organically. You just feel what's right and what's working, and if you get excited about it, that's a good thing. But then you sometimes have to like leave it for a bit and come back to it a couple of hours later and listen with fresh ears, because I could have given up with the horns when it was, driving me crazy with getting the thirds and the fifths above. And at that point in time, I didn't even have a MIDI keyboard to work with. I was using the keyboard on my laptop to
Wow.
make the plugins of the sounds I wanted. So I really was guessing, because trudging my ear with, because they were letters, they weren't notes. I was trying to see F, J, H, and I didn't know. I was trying to just hear it.
Wow.
So it took
That's
extra long. Now I do have the keyboard.
that's not easy to do. How do you find all that talent to find all this stuff?
Well, it was like I watched hundreds of hours of tutorials on the Garage Band, so it did take me a little bit longer.
Right. Are you going to be doing more of these kind of songs in the future?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope to get back in there and get the software out and put down some of my ideas that I have brewing in my head and see what comes out. I can't guarantee what style it would be. I just kind of write what comes out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Um, what about is there any duets that you'd like to do in the future that you since you've done the William Lee Golden?
Yeah, that's a good question. Um, the music industry is changing all the time, especially since the pandemic. I feel like it's changed a lot. And I wouldn't be surprised meeting some of the greats that might cross my path. Even living where I'm living, I may have the opportunity of working with different people, and um, who knows what the future holds. So I don't know. I feel like a lot of the greats that I looked up to on the guitar are no longer with us.
Yeah.
So like a few like Stevie Ray Vaughan, I would have loved to see him live and obviously do a duet with him, but he's not with us. But there's artists like the Joe Walsh and even younger artists that I look up to that are fantastic. And there's a lot of country artists that are doing great things too. So you never know. I just want to see who comes my way.
What about Keith Urban? Is that still going to have anything?
Or maybe one day
Yeah.
he'll invite me to play a song with him. Never know.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Really cool. Um, well, the song, when you first heard the mix of the song, I guess you were pleased with that, right? When you heard it going through the speakers, you had to turn it up to 10, right?
Rock and roll in my soul.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. It took a lot of mixing on that one actually, because there was quite a few layers, if I recall. But it was really coming to life. And once those horns were in the parts that were supposed to be, I was like, wow, this is different to anything else that I've made. And that was exciting. That was very exciting.
Right. Um,
But yeah, it's a song that you have to play loud. It's not a quiet song.
if you saw that song in a movie, what kind of movie would it be in?
Oh yeah, they're on the dance floor, or even doing some line dancing. It may even work to that. Who knows? But yeah, it's one of those songs where it's a lively scene in a movie.
Right. I could see
Maybe
it.
in somewhere in Texas or New Orleans, because the song's got New Orleans and jambalaya in it. So
Right.
maybe somewhere in the South. That could
Right.
be a cool movie scene.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Uh, what kind of shows, uh, what kind of places and shows would you like to do? Maybe some places you haven't been yet.
Yeah, I would love to get out there and play in Texas, Austin, Houston. I know they have the South by Southwest, which sounds very cool. Obviously Tennessee, I've been there a couple of times over the years, and it's always refreshing to go back there. Um, and New York, I have a deep love for New York City and the East Coast too. So I wonder if there's any summer festivals. If anybody knows of any out there, any part of America, let me know, because I want to play at more festivals, and particularly in the summertime. So if anybody knows of any, send me a DM, and I'd love to know. Um, but yeah, I want to see other parts of America as well. That's for sure.
Right. That's half the fun, right?
It
Getting to visit.
is. Yeah, and all of your accents are so different in every part of America too, which is quite
Yep.
exciting.
Yep. That's true. Like Alabama.
Yes.
Um,
I haven't played out there either. I haven't been to Alabama.
oh, yeah, you could come down here and do some show. William Lee Golden.
Yeah, I bet he
Yeah,
plays out there all the time.
all the time. Yeah. Um, Well, I won't keep you too long today. I know you got another interview, I think, lined up, right? Coming up soon.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, I do
Thank you for
appreciate you talking to
spinning
me.
the new song.
Well, great song, and thanks for putting me in there in the intro.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Evan and Jeff decided on that, so I'm glad you. Ooh, we lost
Uh,
you again.
very good. Well, I appreciate you, and
Thank you, Gary,
always
as
good,
always.
always good to hear from you.
Great to be back on your show, and thank you for spinning the music.
All righty. Well, we'll see you later.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye. And there she is, Danni Stefanetti. Brand new single out called Rock and Roll in My Soul, and a new video. Check it out if you haven't already. You'll love it. You'll hear a surprise at the beginning. Yeah. But yeah, great song. So good. Always love to talk to her. Hopefully be doing it soon. But check out our website for more information and all her social media platforms. And until next time, everybody, always remember to keep the music real.